Okay, so one more big thing about roots. We've had a couple of previous lessons about learning where the root of our chord is. And it dawned on me that one of the best reasons to know where the root is so that you can not play it. And this opens up a whole new world. This lesson is not meant to be a beginner lesson, but I really like for beginners to see these things so that you know some of the things I'm teaching you, where we're going with it, and how this is going to help you get where you want to go. So let me go ahead. Oh, so there is some prerequisite knowledge if you want to really understand this lesson, and that is to be familiar with the D shape and the A shape and where the roots are. And I'm going to be referring to some previous lessons. This is kind of neat because there's a few previous lessons here and there that all come together at this point. So I've realized what I'm going to do is create a new playlist, and don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I'll put a link to that playlist in the description underneath this video. So if you want to hear more about any of the things we're talking about today, look for that playlist. So I said one of the best reasons that we want to know where our roots are is so we can not play them. And let me show you something fun that happens when you don't play your root. We talked a lot about the D shape and that this is the root, one root of the D chord. The open fourth string is a root, that's a D note. This is a D chord. This here is a D note, second string, third fret. So this spot in the D shape, this spot is a root. The root names the chord, and we talked about how if this is a D, this is an E note. So this shape, same shape here, is an E chord. If we go a half step higher, there's a lesson about how we know that E to F is a half step. I'll include that in the playlist. F, whole step higher is G, whole step higher is A. Okay, so here's the thing. If you were playing a song and it was time for a G chord, you could play G, but say you're playing with friends and everybody else is playing this G or they're playing this G, you could make this shape and you could just play around with these three notes and get to know your guitar a little better and get to learn that that's a G chord. Now, remember I said that the cool thing is you get to not play your root? And we have talked about not having to play the whole chord. So let's just pick up this finger and play only this note and this note. Those are real pretty notes, and you will hear this kind of sound in a lot of songs actually. Now I'm going to play these same two notes, only I'm going to change my fingering a little bit. Same two notes from the G shape. Okay, and this is not a lesson to teach you how to play this. I just want to show you where we're going. Pretty soon in the near future, I'm going to record a song that Hamp and I play together. And this is part of what I'm going to play when it's my turn to play solo. And like I said, not to teach you exactly how to play this. We could have a lesson about that some other time. But just to see that it's just these two notes when it's time for a G chord. And remember how if this was a G, this was an A? And we don't have to play the root of the A chord either. So we could think of this as an A chord. We could think of this as a G chord. A. And this is a really important thing. I verified this with Hamp to make sure I was right. I asked him, so do you think one of the secrets of getting, becoming magical on the guitar is to be able to see something when it's not there? And he said, yes. So what I'm getting at is I might be playing these two notes. And in the past, I might have learned this lick and just learned these spots and the order they go. But now when I'm here, I see this shape. Even though I'm not playing that one, I know that it's there. And I see this as an A chord. And I'm just playing two parts of the A chord. I'm not playing the root. So look for this when we record a song called Chicken Peckin'. That'll be in there. Now, this same shape. Remember I said we want to be familiar with the D shape and the A shape? So here's the A shape. And there's really only three shapes, A, D, and E. Some other day we'll talk about how all the shapes come from those shapes. So I'm just playing these three strings, the ones that I'm squeezing. Second string, third string, fourth string. Some of you may play it like that. I'm going to play like this today. This note right here in the middle is an A note. So that is an A chord, and that is the root, the one in the middle, which is the third string. That's an A note. There'll be a lesson in the playlist about how you know that if this is A, this is B. And this is B, this is C. And there's a lesson in there to show you that B to C is a half step. So if we were to play this shape here, this spot is an A, so that's an A chord. And if we go up a whole step, that spot right there is a B. So it's now a B chord. I'm just playing the second, third, and fourth string. If we go a half step higher, this note right here is a C. So this is a C chord. This is a really handy C chord to learn. I highly recommend learning this spot right away. And there are things you can use it for. You can play C this way, or you can play C that way. So what we're leading up to, remember how I said we're talking about the reason we want to learn our root is so we cannot play it. So this is a C chord. Which one was the root? That's right, the one in the middle. So we're going to not play that one. We're going to only play the second string and the fourth string. And I'm going to switch fingers now. That shape is much easier to play with either those two or those two. I really like these two. If you're going to start learning this shape, you can play around with it. It doesn't matter if you can't slide, just play around with it. I probably need to teach you a lesson. Yeah, we're going to have to add to this series and go. There's just between this shape and that shape, there are a lot of fun things. But this lesson, we're going to stick to this shape here. Just play with it. So remember how when we were here on this fret, it's a C chord? And I'm just playing the fourth string and the second string. So if this is a C chord, a whole step higher is going to be a D chord. And it just so happens that in the song we're going to record for you, Chicken Peckin', it has a C chord in it that goes to a D. Then the song goes to an E chord. Anyone want to guess where the E chord is? If this is C, this is D, E would be 2 frets higher. D. So let me show you C to D. Let's see, one more time. I messed that up. C, here it is. C to D. C chord. Now C to E. Okay. Hear that note? It wants to go here. And we're back to an A chord. So the main takeaway for today is that all these things, we're going somewhere with it. And knowing your root helps you find your way around. Knowing your root means that you could just take the root out and play that little shape and get some nice sounds from that shape. And let's see, there was one more thing I was going to say. Knowing your roots. Oh, well, if I remember it, I'll come back in the next lesson. So all the prerequisite knowledge. Oh, I was telling you about the takeaway. The takeaway is that you have this little shape that you can play with. This works, this shape is going to work well when you're playing third string and first string. And it's going to work well when you're playing second string and fourth string. We'll have to do another lesson to talk about the E shape and what happens on the other strings. So main takeaway, just play with that shape. And this is all going somewhere. And I think what we're going to do with this playlist is I'll reach back and I'll get the lessons that you need that would be like prerequisite knowledge for this lesson. And then we'll cap it off with something called That's Not a C Chord. Remember in Crocodile Dundee, where I think it wasn't the first movie, but I think it was the second one where his girlfriend brings him to New York and he's like this totally blown away guy from the outback trying to be in New York. And he's walking somewhere. Oh, he's going to go on a walkabout, I think, in New York City, which was not a good idea. And he was in kind of a dark and dangerous place. And those scary teenagers came up and, they asked him for his wallet or something, He gave him a tough time. He didn't go along with whatever they were asking for. And I think he said, why would I want to do that? And then they pulled out, I think it was a switchblade, the kid pulls out his knife and they're all looking really scary. And this little knife pops out of the switchblade. And then Crocodile Dundee says, that's not a knife. This is a knife. And he pulls out this great big, thing that like what you would use to skin a crocodile. And they all ran away. And so what we're going to do in the next lesson to cap off this playlist is I'm going to show you the C chord that you're usually shown. And then I'm going to say, that's not a C chord. This is a C chord. And show you something cool. Not just about C chord, but once you learn that, well, I'll explain it more in the next lesson. Once you learn that, you really know all the chords and where they are, all over the place. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you then. Bye.